Hello, welcome Mariners fans, and welcome to episode 11, or the final episode of Mariners TV for the season. I'm your host, Tyson Scott, and I'm joined again by Carly Carmichael. Carly, thanks for joining us.
No, thank you. It's a little bit sad that it's going to be our last one for maybe season 1 of Mariners TV. We'll see what happens next season, but yeah, it's been really, really good. I've really enjoyed it.
But the great thing about tonight's show is, in an A-League first, we have a live TV studio audience. So can we get a bit of noise from the TV audience here?
Yes. We do have to stress that it is a COVID-safe studio audience. Everyone's done their check-ins and sitting apart, and we have provided them with some excellent six-string beer as well to make us seem better.
It's, drink responsibly. So, I guess tonight's interesting. There we go, it started already. Tonight's episode could get very interesting. But in addition to our TV audience, we've also joined by another close friend of the show who returns in Peter Pryor. Peter, how are you?
Sensational, guys. Just happy to be here, really.
And what's Pete going to be doing tonight, Carly? What's he up to?
So we're going to have a chat to Pete. He obviously is an NPL2 commentator as well, at NPL TV. And then we'll also be chatting about some soccer Twitter moments, peak A-League, a few things like that. So
all the fun stuff.
Looking forward to chatting to you a bit later, Pete.
Can't wait. Bring it on.
So in addition to talking about the academy, we've got a whole host of things coming up. Obviously, the main event is the last game of the season, Central Coast Mariners versus Melbourne Victory. So we're looking to take you right through until close to kick-off there. We're playing Melbourne Victory. It's been quite a solid return to the A-League season from the Central Coast Mariners, Carly, with 3 games under the belt.
Yeah, it's been excellent, especially the last couple of games, being able to have them at home. So our first away game actually away, being held at Kogarah tonight. So really looking forward to seeing, hopefully the boys can get the 3 points in the last game.
And before we talk about some of those games against Melbourne Victory, I guess one of the most disappointing things about the season at the moment is fans can't travel. So the Melbourne trip, I guess, is always one on the radar of all of our fans. And one man who has done that trip quite some times is Pete. I guess, Pete, it's probably, a moment to address what's happening down in Melbourne, but also a reminder, we're playing Melbourne in Sydney in quite a unique time.
Yeah, absolutely. Unprecedented times, as you say, Tyson. I've had some great times doing Melbourne away over the years, road trips, flights and everything. And our wish is obviously go to all down there.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
And I guess, can you maybe give a bit of insight as to, we would love everyone, once next season kicks off, to do some away trips and go and support the boys away from the home stadium. What are your sort of, hints and tips about what to do, where to go? Yeah,
I'll keep it
PG.
M or PG?
It's after 6.
I think it's still PG. So
Okay, PG.
There's so many places, so many great trips that you can do. Adelaide away is a favourite. So many great little pubs and little nooks and crannies that you can find along the way. So I encourage everyone to get out there and get around it.
And as Pete mentioned, it is important to, share a thought for our friends down in Victoria at the moment. Obviously, they're going through an unprecedented time. So from everyone, on behalf of the Central Coast Mariners, we wanted to send our wishes to everyone from obviously the Melbourne clubs and the people that are down in Victoria, because, again, it's quite an unfortunate situation that we find ourselves in, but it's incredibly important that we stick to the plan and make sure that we see this thing out for, hopefully, a return to normality next A-League season.
Yeah, definitely. It's another reminder for everyone here, make sure let's keep doing the right thing so we don't end up obviously in a lockdown, so let's just keep doing the right thing.
And before we move into, by the looks of things here, we've got some more Marvin madness coming up. But I just wanted to chat to you quickly, Carly, about we've had some great memories against Melbourne Victory over the years. I guess most recently, that crazy game at Central Coast Stadium.
Yeah, everyone remembers the iconic photo of Matt Simon with his ripped jersey, which was also fantastic that we actually got to auction that off to raise money for the Rural Fire Service. So that's a nice memory that we were able to give back to the community. And I guess for you've got quite an iconic moment that you wanted to chat about.
I do. It's an iconic moment for me. Maybe not for our next guest, Nick Montgomery, who had an unfortunate night out in this particular game against Melbourne Victory. I can see him looking quite unimpressed that we're talking about this moment. But it's in 2013, the semi-final. We can see there on your screens, Daniel McBreen scoring an absolute cracker of a goal there to send us through to the grand final against the Wanderers. For me, that was actually the first year that I interned with the club, where we're seeing, I don't know if Monty's seeing it, but we're seeing his tackle there. I think you were pretty hard done by Mont, but we'll talk about that when we have you on. But that was an incredible night there at Central Coast Stadium. We win 1-0. We finished the game with 10 men. And it's just one of those games to me that jumps out as one of the classic Mariners A-League memories. I don't know where you were on that night, Carly. Were you? What was your role at that point in the club?
Yeah, so I was working. In marketing, so I was probably crying. I'd really panic when it gets to like 1-0 and there's only a few minutes to go, and yeah, my stress levels don't cope well with that, so I was probably hiding somewhere with my hands over my eyes.
It was a huge game, and I guess before we get to our next guest, Nick Montgomery, again, huge season, huge off-season. What has Marvin been up to?
Oh, look, what hasn't he been doing? He's, while, you know, a lot of people have been taking the time in lockdown to sort of relax and chill out, he obviously made his resurgence. He's made his comeback. Mm-hmm. So we're just going to show a couple of the best of Marvin videos.
Hey Theo, are you going to the Mariners game this weekend?
Nah, I don't think I will, eh?
Dad, can we go to the Mariners game?
We're not like the soccer. What do you want to go to that for?
Tricks again.
He is. He just, keeps surprising us.
Before we get into the A-League chat and before we're joined by our next guest, Nick Montgomery, the academy teams have been in action over the past couple of weeks, and it's been an unbelievable start on both the men's and the women's program. Carly, how have they gone over the past week?
Yeah, so some fantastic results we'll bring up on the screen here. First off, for our men's side, our first grade won 8-3 over Spirit FC with goals from Max Ballard, James Bayliss, Matthew Cahill, 2 from Harry McCarthy, Michael Katsoulis, Harrison Steele and Damien Sekenis. You can also see a reserve grade had a win along with the under-18s. Under-16s drew 2-2, a win for the under-15s. Unfortunately, the 13s and the 14s both lost, but I mean, they're still doing fantastic in that season. And then with the women's, they played the Gladesville Ravens. First grade won 6-0 with goals from Betsy Blackwood. Michaela Tucker also got a double. Gabby Blanche, Brooke Miller and Elizabeth Shortner. And then reserve grade 1, 3-0. Under 17s and under 15s also got the 1-0 win. Unfortunately, the 14s lost 1-0 as well. So really, really excellent results there. The teams will actually both be at Plume Park this coming weekend. Saturday 3 p.m. for the boys, Sunday 3 p.m. for the girls. For the boys, you can catch them on NPL TV. Peter Pryor will be doing his wonderful commentary once again. And if you can head down and watch them at Plume Park, we just remind you to stay safe and keep your distance.
Well, to talk about everything Mariners Academy, we're thrilled to be joined by head coach Nick Montgomery, who joins us via Zoom at the moment. Monty, we'll get straight into it, mate. An 11-goal thriller. What happened?
To be honest, Tyson, since we came back from the lockdown, we gave the boys quite a lot of stuff to do during that period, and they've come back, fit and strong and hungry to play football. So I think last week we played against Hills United, which Patrick Swanswag's team. I think they won the grand final last year, finished second in the league, and probably should have been the team that was promoted to MPL 1, with the whole West Sydney saga that we spoke about last time. So the fact of the matter is we dominated that game. We scored 4 goals. We probably should have scored 6-7 goals in that game, won that comfortably. And again, yesterday we gave away 2 sloppy goals at the start. A set piece, which I was disappointed about, but from that point on, we got back in the game 2-2, 3-2 at half time, and then second half we just demolished them. It finished 8-3, but in all honesty, it could have been a lot more. I don't say that lightly. We actually had 10 men as well for the last 20 minutes after Harry McCarthy got sent off. So yeah, it was a good weekend, and especially with the 20s winning as well. So Plume Park was a good weekend, and we push on to next week.
And as you mentioned, the changes to NPL1 and NPL2 with teams shuffling around there, do you think it's almost given the boys that little bit of extra motivation? They've definitely got that point to prove?
I don't think we've got any point to prove. We were the best, the second best team, on paper last year in the youth league, just finished behind Sydney FC. So again, that was never the case. Obviously, still disappointed. But I did say to the boys, we can't control it. What's happened should never have happened. The powers above from FFA and Football New South Wales somehow came up with a crazy decision that West Sydney deserved to be an NPL1 over us. But like I said, some things you can control, some things you can't, and all the boys can control is training hard every week and going at this NPL2 competition, wanting to win every game, and that's what we've done up to now.
And Monty, I guess every week we're seeing, young players come into the squad from your squad. I guess firstly that must make you incredibly proud, but I guess secondly, can you provide a bit of an insight as to how that impacts the planning for you and your staff at NPL level?
Oh, look, it's, any of the boys training with the A-League, we've still got, out of the NPL first grade squad, we've still got Lewis Curry, who is on the bench tonight. We're delighted for him. Very good kid, left-footed, strong player. We spent 6 years at Man City, so fantastic sort of upbringing for him. Goalkeeper Luca, that I signed from Adelaide, again, really good prospect. Obviously, Alou, the fans have seen Alou, but, to be honest, there's plenty of other young players, bursting to get an opportunity, and unfortunately there hasn't been this season post-COVID. But hopefully, like I say, moving into next season, more experience under the belt playing against men in this NPL competition, which is not easy. They are tough games every week against well-paid men's semi-pro teams. So it's a good learning curve for them, and for me, like I say, we are fortunate that I think we've got some of the better kids within the country at the Mariners Academy right now. So my job's to try and mentor them, along with my assistant Sergio, and really push them to understand what it takes, to become a professional footballer and to meet the expectations when they do step up. So, I think the future's bright for the club. That's for sure.
And you mentioned Sergio before. You've got a really fantastic team of coaches with you. Can you tell us a little bit more about Sergio and I guess how he came to be working with you?
Yeah, look, I met Sergio on my UEFA A licence probably 4 or 5 years ago, and he was so far advanced on the course at the time, and there were some big names on the course doing the coaching badges, and I think them coaching badges and the courses are really good for meeting people. You meet some fantastic people, different ideas about football, but Sergio's coached at Benfica Academy, which is world renowned to be one of the best academies developing young players in the world, still to this day. As well as he's moved around to Brazil, Africa, speaks 5 or 6 languages. He's just got a wealth of coaching knowledge and experience, and he's passionate about developing young players. So we kept in touch, and when I got the opportunity to bring him here, I spoke to Ken, the academy director, and we really pushed to get him in and to have someone like him working with me, as well as John the physio, Kate, the local boy that does the S&C. We've got some fantastic people. Tommy Marsh, a young goalkeeper from the Central Coast, now coaching the academy kids. So putting a team of staff together is always hard, when you don't have the budget and the resources. But like I said, we are quite lucky to have a good team of staff that work for me, and I appreciate everything that they do, and so do the players. So like I said, it's our job now to provide the kids with what they need to really push on and push for spots in the A-League.
And Monty, over the past couple of weeks, we've seen Alo Kuol break into the team. Dylan Ruiz-Diaz is also starting to earn more minutes. Tonight we see a new name on the team sheet in Lewis Curry. Can you tell us a little bit about, I guess, the fans who don't know much about him, what type of player he is, and what we can expect if we can see him out the pitch, if not tonight, maybe next season?
Yeah, look, so Lewis came onto my radar through an agent I know. He spent 6 years at Man City, so he went over there as a wonder kid. Everyone was talking about him, unbelievably technically gifted. But went over there, got caught up in the system there for 6 years at Man City, where opportunities are limited. But from there, he moved to Blackburn Rovers, and then found himself sort of at a lower league club before moving back to Australia. So look, he came back a little bit lost, having been through that system and spat out, which is not easy. But I know more than anybody how ruthless it is in England, and that's something I try and prepare the boys for here. But look, he came back here. I got him in, you know, and from moment one you can just see his quality. He's probably one of the best training players that I've seen, young players, in my time as a coach. Every day he's top level. His attitude's spot on, and he just works so hard. But he's attacking, great left foot on him, you know, and hopefully he'll get an opportunity tonight. But yeah, fantastic lad. The boys love him, and again he's come back to Australia with a point to prove, and I've no doubt that he can push on, given opportunity.
Well, Monty, we'll leave it there. Sorry to make you relive that Melbourne victory game. Thanks for not holding that against us. We think you were hard done by, for what it's worth. But
Shocking
good luck.
Decision.
Good luck on the weekend, Monty, and we'll talk to you soon.
Cheers, guys. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, Carly, you mentioned that the fans can catch all the action live on MPL TV.
Yes, so head to mpl.tv and you can sign up for an account and watch all of the MPL1, MPL2 games live, as well as the MPL1 women's competition as well.
And speaking of MPL TV and commentary, anyone who's ever called a game knows how incredibly hard it is to do on their own. The man we have here tonight did that on the weekend in an 11-goal game. Pete, can you talk us through how you tackled such a crazy
Mate,
game?
it was definitely one for the neutrals, wasn't it? Absolutely bonkers. How often do you see 11 goals in a game? Who says football's low scoring, huh? But certainly a lot of fun and something that I really, really enjoy, and definitely a game that you felt like anything could happen.
And from where you were sitting, which players really stood out or which really impressed you?
We've had so many come through over the years, you know, Matt Ryan, Trent Sainsbury, Musti Amini, just to name a few. Recently, Josh Nisbet, Ruiz Diaz as well coming through recently. In particular, yesterday, Dan Hall, he's a rock at the back, absolutely solid. Harry McCarthy as well grabbed himself a brace, and Matthew Cahill as well, very impressive.
And I guess just before we go into, we're going to actually have a bit of a chat about some of the peak A-League moments over the years. But I guess you've been someone over the years who's attended many NYL MPL games. What would you say to any Mariners fans out there who are thinking about going down and having a look, or just watching them on MPL TV?
Yeah, absolutely. Get down there. Don't let anything stop you, because you always have the chance to see future A-League stars coming through, and it's so good to see them grow and develop over the years as years go by.
For sure. And I guess speaking of which, it's always, I guess, it's the last episode, so we may as well have a bit of a laugh.
And I love soccer Twitter. I love it.
It's a bit of a black hole once you get lost in the rabbit hole, I guess.
There are so many major moments. Pete, can you sum up some of your favourite for us?
We would be here for hours if I tried to rattle.
Oh, look, we can go all night if you want to.
We could, but, you know, we've got a game to watch as well.
That's
so,
true.
you know, there's the broken goalposts, there's Robbie Slater's VAR analysis, there's Bosnich's That's Why I'm the Expert, there's a pitch invader on crutches, there was the ball boy moving the corner flag from Tim Cahill, but we've got a quick package here, I think, to have a look at some of the best.
Let's have a look.
Yes.
What have we got?
Slides it in, Port's onside, and he finishes 1-0. Western Sydney. The flag was up though on the number 9. He hasn't seen it. He's still celebrating. The goal won't stand. He still hasn't recognised the flag. Now it's dawned on him.
Pretty much just injected himself into a kids game down here. You can see him. If you actually zoom in, he runs in and he 2-foots a young child, probably 10 years old.
Through your mind, mate. I thought 100% no pin because it doesn't in my hand.
With 15, does go towards Donaghy, who met it at that far post, and it's Barbarouses, and it's touched in, and Victory have the advantage.
The capture software that uploads the broadcast feed into the VAR system was partially lost 30 seconds before Victory's goal due to a malfunction of the software.
And as Stuart Gerrard summed up to me on Twitter, a scandal of fundamental proportions. It's a good one, isn't it?
That's good, mate, that's good. Well, you predicted it before the game that it was suddenly to hit, and it really did, and it made real...
There's some good ones there.
What's your favourite?
Personally, the bullet celebration. I think it's just that moment of realisation. Sometimes I feel like we've all been there.
Yeah, I think
so. You know, it's also nice when it's not the Mariners.
That's true. I think one that always stands out for me, which we didn't play there, is the shot with the kid with the toy gun in the top of the top grandstand there. I think for me, when I was sitting there, I was working at the club at that point, and I was sitting there, and I think it might have been the same night as the goalpost night.
It was.
And things weren't going great, and all of a sudden you've got the TV behind me, and I look up, and the shot I see is a kid with a semi-automatic rifle pointing it at the...
I remember seeing that and just feeling my heart drop.
Yeah.
And it was definitely a memorable night.
Only in the A-League, I guess.
Yeah.
Pete, what takes it for you, mate? What's your favourite?
I like the bullet one because you can pinpoint the moment where his heart just breaks.
Yeah, exactly.
But Source Down as well, that's a classic. So, yeah.
Well, yeah, I guess they haven't quite made it to peak A-League moments, but on this show alone, and at the Mariners training ground every week, I guess there are some blooper moments, which we'll look at in a sec. What you'll see towards the end of this, though, is when you're filming things with players, especially things where they need to read off a script, they're fantastic at taking interviews. But the minute you ask them to read something from a piece of paper, it takes so long. And it's usually
challenging.
It's challenging, and it's actually quite funny. Yes. So I think the media manager Dave Jordan has prepared a little compilation here of a blooper reel from Mariners TV and Mariners training ground moments.
The way he dances, though, right, or she dances. I'm not too sure whether or not Marvin sounds like it'll be a he, but I reckon sometimes I look at it. Maybe it's not a he in the suit, but I understand the DMs now. Thanks for that.
Okay. Well, Greg has these questions as well, I guess. At some point, I don't know, I would love to know who's in there. It's a mystery.
It could be you.
It could be.
Maybe you're just, I don't know.
Do you think Greg O'Rourke would like the way that I move? I don't think so, because I can't dance.
I just got nothing.
Yeah.
Okay. That was like the best way I've ever done in my life. From under fives to all ages, football is a great way to get active. Oh, I actually got that right. I was great.
Don't laugh when you get it wrong. Laugh when you get it wrong, Lars.
Hi, I'm Gianni Stensness.
Just went into
Registrations to play for Mountain District. Okay, I think you're going to have to hold it up there.
Everyone go, Kogarah!
Hope to see you out at East... Well, blah. What are we doing? I'm the pitch at East Gosford.
Alan.
Steve.
That actually works at it. Yeah. Don't do that.
You got the wrong dude, man. Hello to all our friends at Beach Early Learning Centre. My name is Jordan Murray from the Central Coast Mariners. I hope you are all having a fun time playing... Oh, fun time. Hello to all hello to all our friends, not my friends.
Hello to all our friends at Noah's Ark Care and Learning. I hope you are having fun playing the Move Like a Mariner Pro. Hello to all our friends at Noah's Ark Care and Learning Centre. Oh God, man. You can do one without a jacket?
I bet you could wish you could get every single minute back that you've wasted doing that.
Yeah, there's quite a few hours of my life wasted on those. But the best part is when you've got to hold the script up, and especially when you've got to do it for the goalkeepers, and I'm like here, and the goalkeepers are up here, so I literally spend like about 15 minutes doing this.
The worst part is though when you're trying to do it and there's other players around. And it's like being at school because they won't let the other one finish, and it takes way longer than it should.
But then we get classic bloopers like that, which we can all enjoy later.
True,
exactly. And I do think Dave Jordan is going to get his final yellow and maybe his red card for including that Alan, Steve bit in there.
I think he's going to be in trouble here.
He will be, but thank God it's the last episode.
And I believe, Carly, do we have an interview from is it from the training ground or from the stadium tonight?
So from down at the stadium, our media manager caught up with Gianni Stensness just a little while ago before they headed out for warm-up. So we'll hear from him.
3 games in sort of the space of 10 days. How good has it been to have a full week off in preparation for this one?
Yeah, look, I think this was a needed break for the boys. You know, the last break we had was only 2 days. Still managed to get a very good performance. So. But we're feeling fresh coming into this one now.
Yeah. So the last couple of games have been characterised by a much improved defensive performance, including a clean sheet against the Jets. How much of a focus has that been, and how much confidence do you take from it?
Yeah, look, I don't think it's been a focus, but it's definitely been a result of the hard work going into the new season. we do take a lot of encouragement from that clean sheet and those 2 draws that we've had, especially coming off a draw that we felt we definitely could have won. You know, it was hard to take the late goal from the Wanderers, but we come out here and we're looking for a win today.
Yeah, and our last win was in that game, I guess, in Paul, back in January against the Big Three. Do you guys take a bit of confidence from the fact that, you know, these guys are the last side we beat and we know we can?
Yeah, definitely. Having our last win against Melbourne Victory definitely encourages us to take another win here tonight, and especially with a rotation of their squad, bringing in some young players and trying out some new players in their team, and looking at their past results as well, just coming back from the break. So we're quite confident coming into tonight.
How important is it that you guys finish off the season strong tonight, both for yourselves and for the fans?
Yeah, look, very important. Haven't had a win in a while. Have had encouraging results the last few weeks, so it's very important to us. We're going to come out with the strongest squad we can and try the best we can to get a win tonight.
Great to hear from Gianni there pre-game, and a huge thanks to Dave Jordan for sending that one back to us. Always good to hear from one of the players pre-game.
Yeah, it's definitely fantastic, and you know, Gianni's played such an important role the last few games, so I'll be looking forward to see what he puts out today.
Absolutely. Well, I think as that went to where we've got the Mariners lineup here ready to go. So, Carly, do you want to take us through how the Mariners will line up this evening?
Yes, so as usual in goals, we have Mark Birighitti with Ziggy Gordon, Jack Clisby, Milan Djuric, Tommy Orr is in there as well, Kai Rolls, Dylan Fox, Sam Silvera, Gianni Stensness, who we just heard from. Matt Simon is returning on the pitch as well, and Josh Nisbet. And then on the bench, we do have Adam Pearce, Jacob Melling, Lewis Miller, Jair, Dylan Ruiz-Diaz, Lewis Curry, and Alu Kual.
Be interesting to see if Lewis gets a run tonight, actually. Hearing Monty speak about him earlier sounds like he's a player that has plenty of raps on him, which is fantastic to hear. And I guess in this final period, it's really good to see some of those younger players getting a crack.
Yeah, definitely. And, you know, the way he's been performing and sort of his background, be fantastic to see what he can do.
And are we going to be joined by a special guest to talk through the lineup, I believe?
We are. We're going to have a bit of audience participation. So we're going to bring down Martin Rayner, who is a Mariners fan. You can head on down. Yeah, down here. He's been put on the spot here. So we're going to just get a bit of a fan's perspective of...
Come jump in the middle, mate.
Come jump in the middle.
And rather than Carly and I dribbling about the lineup, we're going to have more of a thought than us.
We'll even have it here for you so you can have a look. What are your thoughts?
I should have brought my reading glasses, is what I should have thought. But that's okay. We can blur it out. Look, I think Fox and Rolls have played really well the last couple of weeks together. I think our backline has come under a lot of pressure of late, and those two have really started to perform together, so I'm really good to see that. Nizzy in the midfield, he's if he's not the fan favourite of everyone right now, I think he fast is becoming one. And I love seeing Matty Simon back up front, so... He'll give him a bit of curry, and had an outstanding game last time he played him. So my money's on him to score, literally.
Well, we were saying the other week that no matter who you're playing against, if you pick up a team sheet and you see Matt Simon's name, you know you're in for a tough night. So, like you said, it's always good to see him on a team sheet. What do you reckon we can expect from Matty Simon tonight?
Oh, look, I don't think we expect anything less from him. Yeah. He's going to give us 150%. He's going to, do everything he can up front to annoy the defenders and goalkeeper right in front of him, and then hopefully, as I said, he'll put the ball in the back of the net. But the guy leads by example and has done for many years. So I don't expect anything less from him tonight.
And as well, too, you mentioned Josh Nisbet, I guess another player that we often speak about. How impressed have you been to see him make the step up from NPL, NYL, and now earning some well-deserved minutes in the A-League?
Yeah, and as Pete said before, he's one of those players you've seen over the last few years that you go, I'd love to see that guy get a crack. And now he's up there doing it. He's not let anybody down. So it's great. He's now getting a start. And the last few games he's dominated what he's done. So he's done a great job.
Perfect. Thank you. And you coach at Arimba. Is that right? Yes?
Sort of, yeah.
Yeah? Have you got your results from the weekend?
No, not really.
No, you don't want to talk about them?
No,
okay, no worries. Didn't mean that again.
We're in a Gabby one.
Yeah. Did she? I didn't know.
Yeah, apparently.
I didn't see your 25 Facebook statuses.
Did you? Oh, I'll send you the link.
Whereabouts are you playing this coming weekend then?
So this week we're actually up at Carry-On.
Oh, well.
I don't know if you've heard of those guys.
Go the Cougars.
Cougars?
Yep.
Yeah. So we're up there on
Best
Sunday.
club in the competition from what I've heard.
So we'll be up there on Sunday. We're looking forward to coffee. It'll be great.
Yep. Awesome. Well, thank you for joining us, mate. I'll grab the microphone off you. Cheers.
Thank you so much.
Round of applause. Okay, I guess we're waiting to get our next guest on the line, which is the head coach. So whilst we wait for him to join us, I guess, Carly, we spoke a little bit about Josh Nisbet. We spoke a little bit about that lineup. I guess, who is it for you jumping out on the team sheet that you're going to be really keen to see in action tonight?
I know we've said it before, but it has to be Nizzy. I just really enjoy the way that he plays. He's got fantastic movement on the ball. He's quick, and it's like the players just don't know what he's thinking, and which is fantastic with the opposition. They don't really know what to expect, and I love that. And again, he's such a fan favourite, and the fact that you've watched him grow from where he started out in NYL, NPL, and where he is today, it's such a good story, and I just couldn't be happier for him.
No, I agree. Couldn't agree more. So we've got Josh Nisbet, man of the match. We've got Martin's got Matt Simon to score.
Yeah, well,
he's backed
hopefully his shirt stays intact this time.
Yep.
That would be.
So we need Matt.
Well, if he rips it again, we'll just auction it off and give it to another charity. So
Speaking of which, actually, before we go to Pete, I want to ask you as well about the lineup, Pete. But one thing that I guess a lot of people might not know is what you actually did with that jersey last time we played Melbourne Victory.
Yeah, so many people may have known we did quite a bit of fundraising for the Rural Fire Service. A lot of areas on the Central Coast were affected by the bushfires in December, January. We had a fantastic relationship with the local guys based up north around Charmhaven. They sort of told us exactly what kind of equipment they needed and what actually it's so easy to donate, and you'll give your money and you don't really know where it ends up. So we asked the guys, what do they specifically need to make their jobs better so they can keep protecting the community? They told us about a range of communications equipment which would greatly help them sort of, instead of finding out, getting information that's an hour old, they can get it, within seconds to find out how quickly a fire is spread. So we were able to raise that amount of money, get them the radios, the new communications programs, as well as screens and everything like that. And we actually are going to be catching up with them in a few weeks to sort of do a little, wrap up of how things went and all of that. So the money that we raised from the Matt Simon jersey went towards that final total.
Oh, it's fantastic to see. And I guess before we go in, we're just about to be joined by Stad. She's getting mic'd up as we speak. But Pete, looking up at that lineup, I guess, what are you expecting from tonight's game, and who are you looking forward to seeing in action?
Definitely looking forward to seeing the Mariners' all-time leading goal scorer and six-time Golden Boot winner, Matt Simon. Of course, we know what he brings. As Martin said, 150% all action, and he'll be on for a big one.
Couldn't agree more. So by the sounds of things, everyone here is on Matt Simon to score, so we hope for their back pockets he can bang a couple in tonight. I think we are joined by Stadge on the other end of the line. Stadge, if you can hear us, mate, I guess it's been a solid return to the A-League for the Mariners. What have been the most promising signs for you in the first 3 games back?
Yeah, look, for me, we did a really large chunk working on our defensive shape and structures and principles, and to see some of those coming out in games has been pleasing. That goal we copped in the last game was the first goal in open play in 3 matches. So, a lot of positives in that respect, and I guess the platform that we built with all the young players that have come in, it's really given the club a good foundation for next year and the coming years to build on, to really have a core group of players who've either come through our youth team or Central Coast being their first A-League team. So, look, I'm really pleased with that component. As I said, also our defensive principles have certainly improved.
And a lot of our fans here in the audience today, we've been talking about Josh Nisbet. What are you hoping to see from him tonight?
Yeah, look, they're all young players, and Nizzy's in the boat, same as Sammy and Dylan. You could rifle through the whole team. They're just young players, and they're going to have good games, they're going to have bad games, they're going to have good moments, they're going to have bad moments. So, look, as they go through their career, they'll get more mature and become more consistent. But, you know, you had a couple of good games in a row now, and the more games they can string together that they play at a high level, the more confidence and belief they'll get. And ultimately that underpins, you know, how far a player can go. So, look, that's growing within a lot of the young players that we've got. But, you know, it just comes from playing and performing and being successful and having, you know, more actions that have a good outcome. And Izzy's certainly shown in the last 2 games that he can anyone. And for me, a good marker is Steven Agarkovic, who's probably one of the best midfielders in the A-League this year for me. And Nizzy competed strongly against him, so it just shows me that he can certainly compete at this level.
And speaking of those young players, Stadge, we have a new face, I guess, for Mariners fans on the lineup tonight on the bench, and Lewis Curie. We had Monty on the show earlier talking about his exploits as a player. Can you tell us a little bit about him and maybe even any other young players that are sort of training regularly with the first team squad that have really impressed you on the training ground?
Yeah, look, Lewis has been with us during this whole post-COVID period, and there were a number of players who came up from Monty's team, and they've done a great job down there in the NYL space and NPL space to be able to provide such a large cohort that have been able to come into our A-League squad almost seamless. That's been a real positive, and Lewis is one of those who's trained well, and he's shown that he's got some weapons. He's still obviously got a lot more polish to go in his game to be a regular A-League player and a regular A-League squad member, but he's certainly at training shown that he's got a few weapons in being able to score and create goals and be a threat in the final third.
And during this time, the football department has taken on 2 of the admin staff members down in the bubble, Shay and Dave. Have you got any inside information on, you know, things that they've been doing that we need to know about?
Look, they've generally been good performers. We tend to give out yellow cards and red cards for, you know, sort of discretionary behaviours, and DJ's picked up about 8 or 9 yellows over the course of the season, and Shay certainly picked up a couple of reds, including punting our own CEO from our bubble. So she's certainly got some character about her, and not scared to make a decision.
No, well, I don't know if Sean's going to let her back in the admin office. We may need to find a new home for her. But no, that's fantastic to hear they've settled in so well.
And Stadge, just lastly before we let you go, I guess one thing that I guess fans are asking, which you may not have a lot of clarity over yourself, but I guess with the changing of the seasons, with the season drawing to an end, what does it look like for you and your staff? Do you know, how long the players will be taking off, what the next couple of months looks like? If you could provide a bit of insight, I guess, to when you sort of move into that planning phase and what the next period looks like for you and your staff.
Yeah, look, I guess there's still a bit of uncertainty around the A-League, the start date, the end date, and that has ramifications moving, onto us in terms of when we're going to start our pre-season, when we can come back. There's still obviously a CBA that has to be sorted out between the PFA and FFA and the clubs as well. So, look, at this point in time, there's a lot of uncertainty, and to be honest, it's something that I've pushed to the back of my mind because we've really just focused on this short, intense period that we've had to prepare for and play for. And when I reflect back on the last 5 weeks, I think all the fans and all the members of the club should be really proud of the playing group to be able to come up like they have and perform like they have and show, I've been using the word, the amount of heart and spirit that they've shown in representing our club when really, we were at the bottom and had nothing to play for other than pride in the shirt and pride of the club, which is, it's exceptional that they've shown that fortitude. So, I'm really proud that the players have performed the way they have, and even last game I thought we probably deserved to win, and to show that kind of character against bigger clubs who have certainly had a lot more resources, at their disposal than we have, for the players to come and perform like they have has been really pleasing.
Well, Alan, it's certainly been a period that you'll probably never face ever again. A lot of
Let's
people
hope not.
won't in football, mate. So I guess we just wanted to say all the best for tonight's game. It's been great to see the boys back out on the pitch, and thank you for joining us tonight.
Thanks, Tyson. Thanks, Carly.
Thanks, Stadge.
And great for Stadge to join us there. Before we wrap up, we're going to be joined by Central Coast Mariners CEO Sean Millercamp, who's going to join us at the desk now.
I
think I'm mic'd up.
You're already mic'd
I don't think
up.
I need that.
Okay.
So thanks anyway.
We don't need you here twice.
But yeah, I suppose first to just clarify, seeing as Stadge sort of let the cat out of the bag about Shay. So at the Perth game, I had to have a meeting with James Johnson and Graham Arnold, and Shay caught me having that meeting and conveniently kicked me out of the bubble, and it would be something that she'll never ever live down.
We're so proud.
Yeah. Good cheeky name drop, by the way, as well. I like that.
So No, but anyway. Now, look, I just want to take the opportunity to, as we wrap up the season, to say a lot of thanks to everybody. It's been a particularly tough season. It's been one with which no one could ever have predicted of all the challenges that have come through. So definitely want to say a big shout out to all our sponsors who have been so loyal for us through this period. Master Foods, Mate, Pinnacle, DMC, McDonald's, Steadfast, Umbro, Newcastle University, Six String Brewery, Boost Hyundai, there's plenty more, and of course the fabulous JC Entertainment for putting this on. So I've got to give a big thank you to all our sponsors and partners. We wouldn't have got through this season without you, and we wouldn't still be here. And of course the biggest shout out goes to all our members. You're the heartbeat of the club, and you're so important to us. So it's we've still got a long journey ahead, but we're on the way. So for all the boys in Base 16, for the OSC, and for everybody who comes and keeps supporting this club, I can't thank you enough from the deepest of my heart. So big thanks to everybody there. Particular mention, I've got to have a shout out to Mike Charlesworth, the chairman. This has been a very, very precious time, and without Mike, there's definitely no doubt that this club wouldn't still be here. So Mike is over in London. He's in lockdown at the moment. He's definitely watching. So a big shout out to Mike, and thanks for your support through this season and as we move forward. To Alan and all the coaching staff, Alan, Naz and all the crew that's there, they've been through a tremendous journey. They've picked up some ring-ins with Shay and Dave along the way, but I know that their spirits are high, and the coaching staff have had to go into a bubble. They've had to make a lot of personal sacrifices as well. So it's so a big shout out to all those guys. Of course, to the amazing admin staff who's got us through this period. So a lot of people have done far more than could have ever been expected through this period, and again, for you guys, the words won't ever be enough to explain the journey that we've been through, but we're still here and we're still fighting. A big special mention to all the players, those who are out there, those who aren't down at Kogarah at the moment. It's a real credit to your professionalism through an absolutely unprecedented time when you've had to make some unbelievable sacrifices, personally, emotionally, financially, and without the sacrifices that our players have made and all the players in the A-League, we wouldn't be watching a game tonight, and we wouldn't be getting into a season next year. So it's big thanks, but also probably my biggest thank you and the biggest mention is to those that rarely get acknowledged and appreciated, which is all the families and partners of all the staff, the players, the members and everybody who wears the badge and everyone who's connected to it. So the families go through it all, and I know there's plenty of wives and partners at home cheering on the club and the boys. So just want to take the moment to say thanks. Also, a big thank you to you guys and the crew here. A massive thank you to you, Tyson. I know that you've got a big future ahead and where you're going, so it's really exciting. And
he said we weren't allowed to mention it, and if we did, he would walk off set. So,
was it that easy?
Yeah.
We could have done that in
yeah, I know.
episode 3. But anyway, look, we spoke about stuff having a MarinersTV for many, many years, to lead the A-League, to do it, to be the first one with a studio audience, and to see the other clubs, big clubs, following us and doing that just is a credit to everybody up here and everybody behind the scenes that's done it. So massive big thanks. I'm going to get off set and let you go, and thank you very much, guys.
No, thank you.
Thank you, mate.
Cheers.
Cheers. Round of applause for Sean Millikamp. Well, what's been a rather light-hearted episode ends on a bit of a serious one, but it's great to hear from CEO Sean Millikamp there, and we just have to echo his sentiments there for everyone behind the scenes at the Mariners, the people that you see, the people that you don't see. There's been so many sacrifices that have gone into to getting the ball rolling again, both at a grassroots level in football and an A-League level. So we just have to echo his sentiments and say a huge thank you to everyone for continuing their hard work to make sure that we still have football.
Exactly, and when you start to work for this club, everyone becomes your family. So you sort of you treat everyone as if they are the family that you go home to. You care about them, and you want to make sure that everyone's succeeding around you.
Absolutely. Well, that brings us to the end of the final episode of MarinersTV. A huge thank you to everyone that's tuned in to the 11 episodes. We'll get a massive last thank you to the studio audience here as well. We'll get a big round of applause.
Come on, guys. Another big thank you to Six String as well for providing the beverages for this evening for our audiences.
Thank you to Six String. We just realised that we're drinking, I won't mention the percent, but it's quite high.
Too much for me.
And we want to say a huge thank you for jumping into Pete Pryor as well.
Yes.
Big round of applause for Pete Pryor.
Cheers, thank you.
He's done a fantastic job. He jumped in and absolutely smashed it the week that he hosted with you.
Yes, when you had your family dinner on.
Exactly.
Yep.
The viewership went through the roof that week, so well done to you both. And thank you for joining us tonight, mate.
Absolute pleasure.
And I think that's it.
I think that's it. And a big thank you to you, Tyson. I know you came back to Australia in some uncertain times and it wasn't in your plans, but it's been fantastic to have you back. And for those who don't know, Tyson has taken on a role with FIFA, so just a small step up from the Mariners. But yeah, we're so proud of you and can't wait to see what you do next.
Thank you, Carly, and thank you to everyone for having me back. I've really enjoyed it. But it's time for the main event now for Mariners versus Melbourne Victory. You can tune in. I think it's Fox Sports 507, KO, the MyFootball app, and anywhere that you would usually watch the A-League, we'll have it on tonight. So kick back, enjoy some football, and thanks for tuning in.
Thank you.